Good morning, YouTube. It's our final day aboard the Oasis. We are headed back to Cape Canaveral. It is the 7th day, and I think we are both ready to be off the boat. Now, it's not like we haven't enjoyed ourselves, because we have, and we've had an amazing time. 7 days of doing nothing, except for drinking, eating, sleeping, exploring, other things, is awesome. But it almost does get to a point where you're ready to be active again. And it's a different kind of active. Here on the boat, your active is, you want to ride the flow rider? You want to go climb the rock wall? It's different. It's active as in, what do you want to do for fun, not necessarily being productive or being, accomplishing some kind of task, or, feel like you're accomplishing something. Last summer, we took a month, nearly a month and a half off, and we sailed down to the Keys and back, and that was amazing. And at the end of those 30 days, we were 30 days we actually spent sailing. We were not ready to get off the boat. We were anchored at our favorite little island off of Tarpon Springs, knowing we only had a few hours to get back to the marina before we docked and had to return to real life, and neither of us were ready at all. That was an amazing experience, and really showed us a different way that we could live and enjoy ourselves. But so now, 7 days on this cruise ship, and we're like, okay, we're ready to get off, we're ready to get back to real life. And like I said, it's not like we haven't enjoyed ourselves, it's just different. You feel, like a sedentary, like you ever see WALL-E? Because that's what I think of. All the people that were on this cruise spaceship, and they spent all this time on there, and they were all in their little wheelchairs, buzzing around doing activities, and really it was just them in their wheelchairs, or not wheelchairs, they're like hover rounds. And they go to the pool, and they're by the pool, and they were all huge because they were obese because they weren't doing anything. That's what I feel like here. Like, I feel if I were to just stay on this ship forever, I would just become a blob of useless nothing and not even enjoy just relaxing. So sailing on my own vessel, where we can travel, choose where we want to go, and explore that way, is my preferred way to travel. And I spent too much time comparing this to that, and they are two totally different animals. This is a resort that takes you to other resorts to where you can relax and not worry about anything. It is a very different shade of traveling. Yes, you travel, yes, you go to ports, yes, you get to see different cultures and whatever, but it is an abbreviated version of those cultures and countries. Now, like in Mexico, we had an amazing time and getting to travel around by scooter and all, but you're still in Cozumel. Cozumel is a very commercialized island, the whole island. They survive off of tourism and people traveling. When you get off at a port somewhere, off of a cruise ship, you're immediately labeled as a tourist or a cruise ship person. People just know. They see you, they know. You are already defined into a category by the locals that live there. Now, that being said, when you're sailing and you dock somewhere and you go ashore, you are still defined in a certain category, but it's different. People cruising didn't have to work to get there. They just got there, and they're on vacation and they're whatever. When you're sailing, you had to work to get there in some way or another. Rather, you had to work to have the money to be able to afford your sailboat and your trip to get there, and be able to take the time off of work, or you're retired or whatever. You had to work in order to be able to do that, to sail like that, or maybe you live very frugally and you have to work to survive and live on your boat and your different lifestyle. Either way, you didn't get there easily. You know, say what you will, sailing is work. You're constantly having to think and make sure that things are okay. Like you wake up in the morning on a sailboat, and first of all you have to check and make sure you didn't drift anywhere, that your anchor didn't pull up. Check your GPS, make sure you're in the same spot. Check the weather, your wind, location, depth, tides, current, check all that, and then figure out, I mean, you probably already know, but figure out where you want to go that day, then figure out how you're going to get there so you don't run aground. Even when you're approaching the place you want to go, you have to know how you're going to approach it, or how you're going to anchor, or which way the wind's coming so you don't accidentally smash against the dock. But there's all these things that you have to control and work on, and have a, you know, logistics figured out of how that's going to happen so you can safely do it. It's a challenge. It's very satisfying. The cruise ship is different in that you are here to relax, period. You relax. You worry about nothing. You eat, you do activities, you don't worry about the weather, like the crazy storm that was last night, and lightning was popping right next to the boat. On our own sailboat, we'd have to worry about that. This one, I still kind of worried about it because it's ingrained in me being on the water and having to worry about weather, but I just told myself that, you know, not only is there nothing I can do, but I don't have to worry about it. So I just went back to bed. It's totally different. I now see the difference between the two and how I was wrongly comparing them. They are for two totally different purposes, which is great. We have really enjoyed ourselves on the cruise so far, and we see the purpose now. And we will come back on another one, I'm sure. Maybe to different locations or whatever, but when we need time away and just to relax and not worry about a thing, the cruise is the way to go. I mean, it might be the same thing flying and going to a resort somewhere, but we like being on the water, so the cruise is more of a fit for us. Let's talk real quick about the places we went. Haiti, Jamaica, Cozumel. Those three places. Haiti was Labadee, privately owned by Royal Caribbean. Yeah, it was like Disney. You know, it was like Disney for, well, part of an island, part of a very third world country, and then there's this little paradise where, again, you don't worry about anything. You just do what you want to do. Then let's talk about Jamaica. Jamaica, that port didn't exist 4 or 5 years ago. They built it, so it's very commercialized. You know, it's a mall. They try to sell you stuff. They give you flyers about what shops to go to and this and that. And if you wander outside of the bubble there, get ready to get bombarded with everybody trying to sell you stuff, and all of them are very aggressive in their sales tactics. Very intimidating. And you know, maybe if you got a taxi and went somewhere else on the island, it'd be a lot more chill, but where we went, right outside of the reservation, not a good idea. Now Cozumel, we really, really enjoyed. Like, I mean, we got the scooter, we traveled around, we ended up in some not so great places, but still never felt, you know, we never felt worried about our safety. Now, I mean, I know you could get into some bad spots, I'm sure, but everybody we met was really friendly, really helpful. There were salespeople in the sales areas that were pushy, but not as aggressive as Jamaica. It was completely different. One thing though to watch out for: exchange rates. So how it works is they will sell you something based on, like in Cozumel, the price of pesos. So they sell it to you in, like these Cubans. I hope they're real. These Cuban cigars, they sell you for pesos. So they told me the exchange rate's this, so I'll give it to you for 45 American. That translates to 990 pesos, 990 pesos. Now, if you actually do the conversion, and if I would have had internet signal and been able to do the exchange rate conversion, 990 pesos actually equals $55 and some change. So I didn't pay $45 in American, I paid 55 and some change for these cigars. Now 45 was a good deal, I was happy with that. 55, you know, I do feel I got ripped off. I'm sure they know or could have known the exchange rate because they charge on the card 990 pesos. That hits my bank, they do the conversion automatically, and they pull out the money. So if you don't watch your exchange rates, you're gonna get had. Overall, we have had an amazing time. Especially, you know, on board, everything is taken care of for you, usually before you think about it. The staff is very professional. Most of them are very, very friendly. There's nothing more that we could have wanted. Either because it was our first time cruising or because it was our honeymoon. They gave us a little $50 gift card to use at the Vitality Spa, which was like the one thing Amber wanted to do was get a massage, which she did. And well, she's been in pain ever since for it, but her shoulders are really, really bad. So it was awesome that she was able to do that. That was very nice of them to extend that gesture. All of the food has been really, really good, honestly. Even at like the place like the Windjammer, food, you know, buffet all day, everything's good, yummy. It's a huge selection. The specialty restaurants were all exceptional. So we went to the Chops Grill, and the filet, the salmon was amazing. Everything, I mean, it was really, really one of the best steaks I've had in a long time. The Japanese place, we got some really awesome like dynamite rolls and a whole plate of sashimi that was delicious. It was like halibut, red snapper, amazing. But it was all perfectly prepared, delicious. The people that were waiting on us in those restaurants were absolutely on point. I mean, they really, in their specialty restaurants, they really have their stuff together. And we come from restaurants, so we know. So for anyone else out there who is a first-time cruiser, you gotta try it at least once. You gotta go on one. Now I would recommend like a 3 or a 5 night for your first one. 7 days gets a little long, but maybe you just want to relax for 7 days. I mean, we've had a good time. 3 might be too short, 5 might be just enough, 7 is too long. That's kind of my opinion, but we haven't done a 3 or a 5 night, so you got to give it a try. I don't know any other ships, but Royal Caribbean's been fantastic. So we're going to spend the rest of the day doing nothing. Very early in the morning we depart at Port Canaveral, so we're going to relax today. I'm probably going to have one of my Cubans and enjoy, and that's it. Because not tomorrow, but the next day, real life kicks back in and it'll be back to work, which is weird to say. I'm kind of looking forward to. I'm ready to be productive again and try and reset my life priorities and accomplish something, you know, move towards the next step. And if you've been watching all these videos, because I've done one every day, all 7 days of this trip, if you've been watching them all in a row, that's awesome. And I really appreciate that, because I enjoy making these videos. I mean, I really enjoy doing these vlogs a lot more than I thought I would. You know, I always kind of been interested in film and video, and I'm really, really enjoying this and looking forward to what the future could potentially bring making these videos. So thank you so much for coming on this little mini journey with me. More cool stuff to come in the future. If you liked them, you know, please subscribe. I appreciate that. And feedback, please, positive, negative. I can take it. You know, tell me what you really think, what I can improve, what you liked, didn't like. And thank you so much for watching. So, what have I learned from this trip? My takeaway is that everybody has certain expectations and ideas for how they want to spend their leisure time. and I do as well. It isn't necessarily like this, but this is not necessarily a bad way to spend your leisure time. I do know from this I still prefer sailing and traveling maybe in an RV or a boat in some way, and viewing things in my own way. But I definitely see why so many people like and enjoy this. I'm sure we will do one again, because it has its purpose and its place. You know, and all these other people are enjoying this for all those reasons. Hey, life is good. I have no complaints.